We've decided to leave everything to your sister. My father said it between the salad and the main course, his wine glass catching the candlelight, his voice steady like he was discussing stock portfolios or vacation plans. Around the table sat 8 people, my parents, my sister Autumn and her husband, my wife Nina, and me. Everything. I heard myself ask, my fork suspended halfway to my mouth. The house, the investments, the business, my mother confirmed, dabbing her lips with a linen napkin. Autumn needs it more. She has children. You and Nina are doing well on your own. I set my fork down. Looked at Nina. Her face had gone completely blank, the way it did when she was processing something too big to show. When did you decide this? I asked. Last month, my father said. Our lawyer finalized it yesterday. We wanted to tell you in person so there wouldn't be any confusion later. Confusion. As if the issue was clarity rather than the fact that they just erased me from 30 years of family legacy with the casualness of changing a dinner reservation. My sister Autumn wouldn't meet my eyes. Her husband, Kyle, looked uncomfortable but stayed silent. This wasn't news to them. They'd known. River, my mother said, using my name like a gentle reprimand. We raised you to be independent. You understand this is what's best for the family. I felt Nina's hand find mine under the table. Squeeze once. A warning or support, I wasn't sure which. But here's the thing about having your entire relationship with your parents rewritten in a single sentence. It gives you a kind of clarity that takes most people years to find. I could fight. I could yell. I could demand explanations or threaten lawyers or make a scene that would echo through family gatherings for decades. Or I could do something they'd never expect from their accommodating, rational, always understanding son. I smiled, picked up my water glass, and said 2 words that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. Thank you. Let me back up 30 minutes, to before the bomb dropped. My name is River Castellano, and I'm 38 years old. I'm a software engineer at a tech company in Austin, Texas. I make good money, not rich, but comfortable. My wife Nina is a veterinarian. We have a nice house, 2 dogs, no kids yet but working on it. My parents, Thomas and Iris Castellano, live in Scottsdale, Arizona. My father built a commercial real estate business over 40 years, now worth somewhere north of $15 million. My mother managed the properties, handled the books, played the society wife role with practiced grace. My sister Autumn is 42. She married Kyle, a guy who works in sales and spends money faster than he makes it. They have 3 kids, a house they can barely afford, and a lifestyle built on credit cards and loans from my parents. This dinner was supposed to be a celebration. My parents' 40th anniversary. They'd rented a private room at their country club, hired a chef, made it into an event. The first course came. Butternut squash soup, artfully drizzled. We made small talk. My father asked about my work. I told him about a project I was leading. He nodded politely, then turned to Autumn. How are the kids? She launched into a 15-minute update about soccer games and school plays and new tutors they'd hired. My parents hung on every word. The salad arrived. More wine was poured. My mother asked Nina about the clinic. Nina answered briefly, then my mother pivoted to asking Autumn about the vacation they were planning, one my parents were funding, apparently. Then, between salad and the main course, my father cleared his throat. Candace and I want to discuss something important while we're all together. I assumed it was about the anniversary, maybe a trip they wanted to take. Instead, he pulled out a folder from beside his chair. We met with our estate attorney last week. We've made some changes to our will, and we wanted you both to understand our reasoning. Autumn shifted in her seat. She already knew what was coming. Could tell. We've decided to leave everything to your sister, my father said, looking at me directly. The room tilted slightly. Everything. The house, the investments, the business. We're setting up a trust for Autumn and her family. And River gets? Nina asked, her voice carefully neutral. Nothing, my mother said simply. You two are financially secure. You don't need it the way Autumn does. I felt like I'd been slapped. We don't need it? You make good money. You have savings. Autumn and Kyle are struggling. The kids need college funds, They need a better house. They need stability. We're giving them that. By giving them everything. By giving them what they need, my father corrected. You've always been self-sufficient, River. We raised you that way. This is about need, not love. Does it occur to you that maybe Autumn struggles because you've bailed her out of every problem she's ever had? Autumn finally spoke. That's not fair. Isn't it? When's the last time you solved your own problem? When's the last time Dad didn't write a check to fix something? We're raising 3 children. And I'm raising a business. I'm building a life. But apparently that doesn't count because I'm not hemorrhaging money. My father's voice hardened. River, this is not up for debate. We've made our decision. We're informing you as a courtesy. A courtesy. I almost laughed. You're disinheriting me as a courtesy. You're not being disinherited. You were never promised anything. This is our money, our choice. Legally, he was right. Morally, ethically, it was something else entirely. Nina's hand tightened on mine. I looked at her. She gave the smallest nod. Your call. I took a breath. Let it out. Felt 38 years of being the easy son, the self-sufficient one, the one who didn't need help, crystallize into something sharp and clear. You're right, I said. It is your money. Your choice. My mother looked relieved. I'm glad you understand. But I want to make sure I understand completely. You're giving Autumn $15 million, plus the house, plus the business. The business will be sold eventually, my father said. The proceeds go to the trust. And I get nothing because I'm financially secure. Essentially, yes. Even though I worked summers at the business as a teenager. Even though I helped Mom with the books during college. Even though I've been the one you called when you needed tech help, financial advice, someone to co-sign loans. River, that's different. No, it's not. But you're right. It's your choice. I picked up my water glass. So thank you. My father frowned. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for being so clear about where I stand. Thank you for removing any ambiguity about my place in this family. Thank you for making this so easy. Easy. My mother looked confused. To walk away. I stood, helping Nina with her chair. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your anniversary. And enjoy the family you've chosen to invest in. River, sit down. My father's voice went hard. We're not finished. Actually, we are. You made your decision. I'm making mine. Which is what exactly? Autumn asked, finally finding her voice. I looked at her. At my sister who'd spent 40 years being bailed out, coddled, prioritized. Who'd gotten everything while I got, you're self-sufficient. You'll find out. I walked out. Nina followed. Behind us, I heard my mother call my name, but I didn't stop. We got in the car. Drove in silence for 5 minutes. Then Nina spoke. What are you going to do? I'm going to thank them. You already did. No. I'm going to really thank them. By showing them exactly what they just gave up. That night, I made a list. Everything my parents had asked me for over the past 10 years. Every favor, every piece of advice, every time they'd called me instead of Autumn because they knew I'd actually handle it. The list was 3 pages long. Tech support. At least twice a month, sometimes weekly. Setting up phones, fixing computers, explaining software. Hours of free IT work. Financial advice. I'd helped them restructure their portfolio 5 years ago, saving them from a tax disaster. Reviewed their investments quarterly. Pointed out problems before they became crises. Property management help. I designed the digital system they used to track tenants, maintenance, and finances. Built it custom, no charge. Business consulting. Last year, they'd wanted to expand into a new market. I'd spent 3 weekends analyzing the opportunity, building financial models, ultimately advising them to pass. They'd listened. Avoided losing a fortune. Free labor. Moving furniture, hauling trash, fixing things around the house when Kyle was too busy. Years of weekends given freely. And through all of it, Autumn had contributed exactly nothing. Because she was busy with the kids. Because she needed help herself. Because that's just how things were. I'd never asked for money. Never expected to be paid for family help. But I'd assumed, stupidly, that contribution would be remembered. Valued. Apparently not. Nina found me at the kitchen table at midnight, spreadsheet open, list printed beside it. What's that? Quantification. If I'd charged even basic consulting rates for everything I've done, it would be over $200,000. Are you going to send them a bill? No. I'm going to do something better. I'm going to stop being available. Meaning the next time they call asking for help, I'm going to say no. Every time. Forever. River. She sat beside me. Are you sure? They're your parents. They're people who just told me I'm worth less than nothing to them. People who decided 38 years of being their son doesn't merit even a token inheritance. Maybe they'll change their minds. Maybe. But I'm not waiting around to find out. The calls started 3 days later. My father, asking if I could look at some financial documents. Something about a potential investment. I'm not available for that anymore, Dad. What do you mean? I mean I'm busy. Try asking Autumn. Autumn doesn't understand investments. Then hire someone who does. River, don't be petty. I'm not being petty. I'm respecting your decision. You decided I'm not family in the way that matters. So I'm deciding you're not clients I'm working for free. I hung up. My mother called 2 days later. Their computer was acting up. Could I walk her through fixing it? Sorry, Mom. I don't do tech support anymore. You should call Autumn. She doesn't know how to fix computers. Neither do I, apparently, since my knowledge doesn't have any value. River, this is childish. Is it? You decided I was worth nothing. I'm just agreeing with you. The pattern continued. Property management software crashed. They called. I declined. Tax question. I suggested their accountant. Advice on a business decision. Not my problem. Each call, each refusal, felt like shedding weight I'd been carrying for decades. 3 months later, my father made a disastrous investment. Put $2 million into a development deal that collapsed. He'd wanted my analysis beforehand, but I'd refused to give it. He called, furious. You knew this would happen. Did I? You always know. You would have told me to pass. Maybe, but I'm not your advisor anymore. Remember. This is your fault. Noted. You made a choice without consulting someone who could have helped. That's on you. 6 months later, their property management system crashed catastrophically. Lost data, confused tenants, missed rent payments. It took them 3 weeks and $15,000 to hire someone to fix what I'd built for free. My mother left a voicemail. River, we need your help. This is serious. I deleted it without responding. Autumn called, surprisingly. River, you need to help Mom and Dad. Why? Because they're struggling. And you're their son. You're supposed to help. I'm the son they left out of their will. I'm the son who's financially secure and doesn't need anything. So I'm acting accordingly. You're being spiteful. No. I'm being unavailable. The way you've always been. That's different. How? You've spent 40 years not helping because you're busy with your life. Now I'm busy with mine. She hung up. 1 year after the dinner, my father had a health scare. Heart attack, not fatal but serious. My mother called from the hospital. River, your father's asking for you. I went. Not because I'd forgiven them, but because I'm not actually cruel. I found him in a hospital bed, looking older and frilier than I'd ever seen him. He grabbed my hand when I walked in. River. Dad. I've been thinking. About what we did. About the will. What about it? We were wrong. We thought you didn't need us. That you'd be fine without anything. But we didn't think about what it meant. To be excluded. I sat in the chair beside his bed. Waited. Your mother wants to change it. Split things evenly. Give you half. Why? Because you're our son. Because you've earned it. I looked at this man who'd raised me, who'd taught me to work hard and be responsible and never ask for help. Who'd punished me for learning those lessons too well. No, I said. No. I don't want your money. Not now. Not after this. River. You made a choice, Dad. You decided Autumn needed everything and I needed nothing. You were probably right. I don't need your money. But I also don't need the guilt of knowing you changed your mind because you felt bad, not because you actually valued me. That's not. It is. You didn't see my worth until I stopped giving it to you for free. That's not love. That's transactional. He closed his eyes. What do you want from us? Nothing. And that's the point. My father recovered. They changed the will anyway, split it evenly between Autumn and me. My mother sent me a copy with a note. River, we're making this right. We hope you'll forgive us someday. I put it in a drawer, unopened. Autumn and her family continued to struggle. The inheritance was still decades away, assuming my parents didn't spend it on bailing them out first. Kyle made bad investments. They downsized houses. The kids went to state schools instead of private ones. My parents called less. I answered occasionally, kept it brief. We exchanged pleasantries. We were civil. But the warmth was gone, burned away by the realization that I'd spent 38 years earning a love that was always conditional. Nina and I had a daughter. Named her Sage. My parents met her once, briefly. Sent gifts. Asked to visit. I kept them at arm's length. Don't you think that's punishing Sage? Nina asked once. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm protecting her from people who measure love by need. 5 years after the dinner, my father called. River, I want to apologize. Really apologize. Okay. What we did was wrong. Not just the will. Everything. The way we treated you versus Autumn. The way we took advantage of your capability. We were wrong. I know. Can you forgive us? I thought about it honestly. I don't know. Maybe someday. But not today. What can I do? Nothing. That's what I've been trying to tell you. I don't need anything from you. And I don't want anything from you. That's where we are. So that's it? We're just done? No. We're just different. We're acquaintances who used to be family. That's enough for me. He hung up quietly. My mother called an hour later, crying. I let it go to voicemail. I'm 43 now. Sage is 4. She's smart, funny, stubborn, gets that from Nina. We're happy. My parents are in their 70s. Still alive, still in Scottsdale. We exchange Christmas cards. I send photos of Sage. They send checks I donate to charity. Autumn and I don't speak. Last I heard, she and Kyle are still struggling, still depending on my parents for everything. Some patterns never break. The will is still split evenly. Someday I'll inherit half of everything. I'll probably donate most of it. Not out of spite, but because I built my own wealth. I don't need theirs. People ask if I regret walking away. If I should have fought harder, stayed engaged, worked toward reconciliation. But here's what they don't understand. I didn't walk away from my family. They walked away from me the moment they decided I wasn't worth including. I just thanked them for being honest and built a life without them. Here's what I learned. When someone tells you you're not valuable, believe them the first time. My parents left me out of their will because they thought I didn't need their money. They were right. What they didn't realize was that I didn't need their anything, not their money, their approval, their last-minute guilt-driven attempts to make things right. I thanked them because they gave me something more valuable than inheritance, clarity. The clarity to see that I'd spent decades being useful instead of being valued. That I'd been the easy son, which meant I was the forgettable son. And once you see that clearly, once you really understand how little you mean to people you thought would always choose you, walking away becomes easy. Not painless, but easy. If you've ever been written out of your own family, if you've ever been told you don't need what everyone else gets, I want you to hear this. They're right. You don't need them. You need people who see you as more than a utility. More than the one who doesn't complain. More than convenient. Have you ever been left out of a will or inheritance because you were doing fine? What did you do? Tell me in the comments. And subscribe. Because the best revenge isn't fighting them for scraps. It's building something so complete without them that their money becomes irrelevant.